Alright, so for the intersection digital drawings, you're going to want to be able to rotate your object into multiple views, multiple meaningful views. So here I'm going to show you how to get from the view of this intersection, where I can see this prism in its primary view, this one in its oblique view. I'm going to show you how to get from this to one where we see this, we see the primary view of this prism instead, right? Now, the first rule to keep in mind that whenever you rotate an object parallel to one of its edges, right? Any one of its edges, you will see that edge in true length, meaning you'll get an unskewed, you'll get a measurable length of that line, right? Now, I want to get the true length of this edge, and here I've actually drawn a line, right, using the line command from here to here. However, I can't use that line as my fold line because my object, of course, is three-dimensional in Rhino, which means that this line isn't flat on the ground, which means I'll need to make 2D. It's just an extra step. Make sure you don't forget it, because if you do, you won't be able to rotate your object properly. Now, I'm going to scale this line up, and I'm going to draw another line perpendicular to it, because our projection lines and our fold lines must always be perpendicular. Great. Now, I'll take this object, I'll copy paste it, and I'll say rotate 3D. Select my fold line as the axis of rotation, rotate it such that I am viewing the object from the other side of the fold line. And, of course, I can always move along the fold line. And if I view it in plan, there we have it. Right? I can take these, show you I'm not cheating, that indeed this edge is now in full length. It is now in true length. It's now unskewed, right? This is very helpful to have, because what I can do now is I can draw a line from here to here, right? And because this is now in true length, it's also actually completely flat on the ground. So any line I draw from it will in fact be flat. And I don't need to make 2D this, but you could, just in case. But I know it's not, so I'm not going to do it. Now, I'll make another line perpendicular to it. Now what happens when I rotate along this line is that then this edge right here will actually become a point, right? It's going to, the information is going to, if you rotate a line, right, here's how I can rotate a line, right, and I see this line in plan, you see the true length, right? If I rotate it 90 degrees and I go to plan, well, now that line is just a point and I've lost it, right? Same concept here. I want to get this line such that it is a point. So I'm going to rotate this line 90 degrees. I'm going to say rotate 3D. Use my fold line as the axis of rotation. Rotate it such that I see this face. What is this? It is like this, right? If not, it's still right. But now look, we've gotten essentially an auxiliary view, because this line is now a point, right? And the back edge is probably also a point right now. I can't tell for sure. But look, now what's happening is that this entire face is 90 degrees away from being in true view, right? And how do I see this face? Well, how do I rotate this object 90 degrees? It's so easy, right? Because we know now that we can just take, just make a line that's parallel to this face, and we can look at it straight on. I will make 2D this. Bring it back down. Oh no. Delete that. Bring this guy down. Do another line for the projection. Make sure it's on perp. Great. Copy paste. Rotate 3D. Bam. That's how you do it. That's how you get from one view into another primary view. Obviously, this wouldn't work as well for circular or spherical objects or doubly curved surfaces, but it is good to know. And you're probably, if you're intersecting anything that has planes, this is how you find those primary views. And if it doesn't work, it's probably because the fill lines aren't properly 2D, or you're rotating when you do the rotate 3D, right? You might be rotating like incorrectly, right? You might be rotating it up instead of down. Always remember that you're looking at it from this the side of the fill line, like so. But it is technically correct if you rotate it the other way, because the points are all in the same place. I won't go too deep into that. That's how you do an intersection rotation drawing. The after you do all of that, right? You just have to select everything. I would actually remove all of these projection lines, because you don't want to make 2D those, right? I would say make all the rotations first. Keep your fold lines, right? Because your fold lines don't touch the object. But I would do make 2D, right? And after that, I'll make my construction lines, right? I can make my construction lines from here. Or the other option is you go to a different layer, right? I'll go to my red layer, and I will draw all of my construction lines, right? And what I'm gonna do then is, I can't see the point. What I'm going to do then is I'll hide this layer and then make 2D, and then I would copy these construction lines over onto this new view. Because if you do construction lines, if you make 2D with construction lines, right, some of them are going to be hidden, which is really annoying to deal with, because if you're going into Illustrator you'd have to make them not hidden, right? So make them on a separate layer for your convenience. And that should be all.